And what's cracking, you guys? Welcome to the Mango Grove. My name is Krisha, and this is today's Bitcoin and some altcoin analysis video. Now, I haven't really decided on which altcoin I'm going to pick, but I am deciding between LTC and Dogecoin. Of course, you guys are going to get a heads up just by looking at the title below. Now, as far as today's agenda is concerned, guys, here's what we're going to be talking about. Okay, today I'm going to be giving you guys an update on the 4 macro bull run signals that I am looking at, the 4 macro bull run triggers. Okay, so we do have an update on those four bull run triggers. We'll be going over that today, in addition to the broken 4-hour trend. Now, as many of you guys know, for those of you who have been trading actively or even looking at the chart, you guys know that Bitcoin actually lost its 4-hour trend. Now, we were actually looking at 2 very important indicators to help us stay on the right side of that 4-hour trend. So we'll be going over that. In addition to that, I'll be giving you guys targets to the downside now that we've broken down on the lower time frames. All right, for the third point on today's agenda, guys, I'll be going over the bullish control zone. And now what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is that I'm going to be going over that level, that if the bulls manage to reclaim this level, I'm saying that they take over. What we're likely going to see from there is likely a bullish consolidation leading into another run-up. Okay, so it's always about having those contingencies in place. At what point did the bulls really take over, even on the lower time frames? So we'll be going over the bullish control zone, and then we'll be wrapping up today's video with the altcoin of the day, something between Dogecoin and LTC. Now, of course, guys, it goes without saying that like button goes a very, very long way. I know that you're probably tired of hearing it, but it does help the algorithm push us out there. So if you guys are liking the content, make sure to smash the like. But hey, if you want to wait until the end to see if you derive any value from here, then by all means, wait until the end. All right, so with this, we can start with point number 1, which is the macro bull run triggers. Now, for those of you in the Mango Seed program, we have created a sheet, and we have listed it under seed resources, essentially tracking each and every bull run trigger that we're looking at. Now, in addition to that, we have also gone ahead and added critical zones of resistance that we are looking for Bitcoin to take out, in addition to, critical targets to the upside that we are looking at. Okay, so you guys can go ahead and, have fun with the sheet. If you want to copy it to, add a few other things that you are looking at maybe, then by all means, you can copy it and do just that. We have a total of 4 triggers that we're looking at. Total of 4 out of the 4. We have 1, apologies for my messy, navigation of the charts. So out of the 4, we have a total of 1 that's gone off, and that 1 was primarily hinged on that 4-day dynamic. And what we were looking for on the 4-day dynamic, we wanted to see 2 consecutive candle closes over the 4-day dynamic. And as soon as we got that, guys, notice what Bitcoin did. We rallied to the upside, getting us up to that next volatility level at around 22.7K. Right. Now, in addition to this, the second bull run trigger that we were looking for was on the weekly time frame with price against that weekly dynamic. Now, what were we looking for over here? We too were looking for 2 consecutive closes over the dynamic, but in addition to that dynamic cloud turning green. And do we have that? Well, let's zoom in to this price action. And yes, we do. So now we have 2 consecutive closes over the dynamic, plus the cloud is now green. So now out of, the 4 signatures, right, we have a total of 2. So now we have 2 out of 4 bull run signatures that have gone off. Now, as far as the third one is concerned, guys, we're likely going to be getting the tell on that tomorrow. Okay, and why tomorrow? Because tomorrow we open a brand new month of Feb. Now, that next bullish trigger was based on the monthly Stokes. Now, if I take you guys on over to the monthly, put on my oscillators, I want you guys to take a look at the Stokes. Okay, I'm going to get rid of the RSI for now. Take a look at the Stokes. Now, what we were looking for on the Stokes, we were looking for %K to be living over %D, essentially that blue line to live over the red line. And do we have that for now? Now, notice that this candle has not closed just yet, so these numbers can change in the next, 24 hours. Right, so for now, yes, we do have that cross, that bullish cross between %K and %D. Now, when we have that bullish cross, it's telling us that, hey, monthly momentum is picking up compared to price action over the past 1 year, in fact, greater than 1 year. Okay, so this is a very, very important crossover, and usually when we do get the bullish crossover, it has lined up with that reversal. Okay, so we'll be looking for, a tell on this. Do we see a confirmed cross between %K and %D, which is the blue line over the red line? Okay, that is going to be the third trigger on our bull run list. All right, now 3 out of 4 triggers would be pretty freaking amazing if we do get that. Now, I also wanted to drive in this point. Now, someone had mentioned in the comment section in my previous video saying that how can you guys be bullish one day and then bearish the next day? You know, what's going on? What's going on? People are confused. Now, as when I bring up these bull run triggers with you guys, I'm just going to get rid of this. It's bothering me on the chart. When I bring up bull run triggers with you guys, what I'm trying to assess here is that if this is a market cycle, okay, wherein this is accumulation, this is distribution, this is the markup, okay, the bull run phase, markdown, okay, markdown, and this is accumulation once again, okay. What I am trying to assess with these triggers right here is, are we heading into the next cycle? Right? Do we see this next? Do we see that next markup phase? That is what I am trying to assess, because what that is going to help me with is this a good time to be getting in my core aloe? Plus, what side am I better off positioning on? Where am I going to reap the most profit from the market? On the long side or the short side? Because if there's one thing that everybody can agree with is that throughout Bitcoin's cycles, you are always better off being on the side of the trend, because that is where you banked the most profit. Right? So once again, what this is essentially going to help me with, the triggers is going to help me assess, are we getting into the next cycle of the market, getting into the next markup phase. Now on the videos where we posture bearish, note that within these macro cycles, guys, we can have intermediate trends. For instance, now this right here was a macro cycle. However, this region right here, now this was an intermediate trend on the macro cycle where we went from 14K down to, well, the dump took us all the way down to 3K, right? But that was an intermediate trend within a macro cycle. Now on these intermediate trends, guys, we are going to catch them. We're going to bring them up to your attention. And yes, we're going to swing bearish there because price action is telling us that, hey, we're likely heading into a downtrend from here. Okay, you got to call a spade a spade. But these triggers are essentially going to help us understand, do we head into the next cycle? Alrighty. So when Sean and I, we posture certain ways on the chart, I want you to first sort of understand, okay, ask yourself, what time frame are they swinging bearish on? Because that is going to give you more clarity on our overarching direction, our plan, and our mindset. Now, as soon as all 4 bull run triggers actually go off, I personally will be looking at every dip opportunity. Like if I zoom into this price action, I'll be looking at every major dip to be a bid opportunity. Okay, that is contingent on all 4 bull run triggers going off. All right, now that's how I intend on playing, but of course we will swing short-term bearish if those dips actually present themselves on the chart, as we're seeing one right now, and that can be found on the 4-hour time frame. So with this, we can move on to agenda point number 2, which is the 4-hour trend that was lost. Perfect. Now here's the 4-hour time frame. Now, as far as Bitcoin's 4-hour trend is concerned, we have officially lost the trend. Now, how do we know that? What were we looking for in terms of losing Bitcoin's trend? Now, the last time we spoke about Bitcoin, we were actually somewhere here, right? For a trend continuation, we were looking for 2 things. We were looking for Bitcoin to live over that orange line, which was a critical weekly region of, well, resistance, then turned into support, now turned back into resistance. This region came in at $22,944. I told you guys that, hey, for as long as Bitcoin holds that level, in addition to holding the mango dynamic as support, there's a good chance the bulls still have the edge and we rally from here. What happened instead was, hey, you know what? We did get that rally. They tapped all of the stops here, okay, all of the breakout buys here, only to, well, take price down once again. That was a very, very rapid sell-off by the bears, okay? So this ended up being one big fat bull trap. The sell-off then led to Bitcoin breaking the 4-hour uptrend, because notice what happened. Now, not only did we take out that orange line, which was that critical region of, well, support that we had coming in at 22,944, but in addition to that, guys, we also took out the mango dynamic for the first time since the trend began at 16.6K. Notice right here, we started the 4-hour uptrend. Every touch of the dynamic was met with a swift pickup by the bulls. This is the first time since 16.6K that we have lost that region. Okay. Now, in addition to these indicators, we were also looking at the Mango dashboard. Do we have a short trend on the Mango dashboard? And what do you know, on the 4-hour time frame, guys, we did get a short signal 18 hours ago on Bitcoin. However, notice volatility here is, well, sitting there high up there at 86, telling us that, okay, this move is volatile, it's frothy right now. Okay, if you're looking for a better bid opportunity, for those of you looking to bid the short side of the market, you could get one on the horizon very, very soon. Alrighty, but 86 tells me that the bears still have a bit more juice left in them to take this further down. However, now the main question really is this just a pullback and then we see trend continuation, or does this break in that 4-hour trend lead to a further breakdown to the downside? Right? Do we get back down to 19K? Do we get back down to 15K? Well, for that, let's go ahead and assess the rest of the trends, because essentially what we want to see is we want to see this short trend cascade on over to the 12-hour time frame, on over to the daily time frame, telling us that there is growing technical weakness, telling us that the breakdown continues. Okay, but do we have that now? So we have a 4-hour short signal. Okay, how about the 12-hour? 12-hour, though, is long. So the bulls are still in control on the 12-hour time frame. This came in 26 days ago, and even after the breakdown, you're still up by a good 35% on your trade. Volatility, guys, flashing 41, not frothy at all. How about the daily time frame? Daily, bullish, okay. 21 days ago, your returns on this is 32%. Volatility, super low. Also, potential bullish divergence right here. Okay, how about the 2-day? 2-day also long. Okay, you're up by a good 21%. 4-day. 4-day also long. You're up by 0.49%. This came in 10 days ago. Okay. Weekly is also long, my friends. This came in yesterday. Okay, so now we have a very, very interesting picture. What the dashboard is really telling us is that, all right, we got an uptrend, guys. We got an uptrend across time frames. However, the 4-hour right now is presenting us with a pullback. Alrighty, so now what we really want to find out is this a bounce? Do we see a bounce here? Okay, or do we see a break leading into that 12-hour trend also turning short? All right, so for that, let's go ahead and set in a hypothesis for ourselves, okay, for, well, trend continuation. Okay, either what we're looking for here is, hey, do we see trend continuation or do we see a breakdown? No, for a breakdown, we know that we've lost the 4-hour uptrend, right? Now, question is, does this continue to the downside? Now, to really understand if this continues to the downside, we first need to assess, do we have any support right here? Is there anything at all? Right? So for that, let's go ahead and clear out my chart. Very, very nasty chart. Okay, and we know that we've lost the dynamic. However, let's see if we have cloud support. Is there any cloud support underneath us? Okay, now we've lost the Tenkin, we've lost the Kijun. However, we do have cloud support at around 22.5K. I'm going to take this red line that I have. Okay, I'm going to smack it right here. If we lose that cloud level, then perhaps we see an edge-to-edge on the cloud itself, with the bottom of the cloud coming in at around 20.3K. But that is contingent on us closing underneath that cloud. But is that enough? Right? Perhaps that's not enough. Is there any other additional support on this region? Well, for that, let's actually get on over to the 12-hour time frame, because we essentially want to see this downtrend cascade on over to the 12-hour time frame. Is there any support on there? And what do you know, guys? We have the 21 EMA swinging in right underneath price. This is our first test of the 21 EMA since the trend began. Alrighty. But now, in addition to that 21 EMA, I'm going to now move that line up to the 21 EMA. Also, notice how it's lining up with that red box territory, okay, all of these regions. In addition to that 21 EMA, if I now go ahead and turn on my Mango dynamic indicator, you'll notice that we have the entire dynamic zone coming in right underneath us. Once again, with the bottom threshold of the dynamic coming in at around $22,360, lining up with that red box territory. So for me to anticipate any further continuation from Bitcoin to the downside, if I'm looking for that breakdown, I want to see price take out these wicks right here. Okay, which comes in at around $22,360. You guys want to take note of it? Go ahead and do so. Lines up with the wicks, lines up with the dynamic, and we have the 21 EMA sitting smack underneath us right now. Taking that out will tell me that Bitcoin comes down lower. What is the target to the downside that I am looking at? I'm looking at $20,859 as the first target. If I go ahead and switch on my Ichimoku cloud, is there any other target? Perhaps we see a nice, beautiful C-span trade to the downside from the Tenkin going all the way down to the Kijun. Kijun, guys, coming in right now, currently. It hasn't really settled. We don't have a flat line just yet. But this level comes in at around 20,265. Okay, but this is going to be the major range that I gun for. Is there any daily dynamic sitting in right there? Yeah, I think the daily dynamic almost lines up with the midpoint at 20.8K. So we can actually look for price to get down to these levels right here. All right, that is going to be the next major bid opportunity, contingent on Bitcoin actually breaking that 12-hour dynamic to the downside. I am looking for a clean candle body close underneath that region. Alrighty. Now, as far as the continuation to the upside is concerned, do we have any clauses for that? Are there any conditions for that? Well, for that, let's go ahead and turn on our Ichimoku cloud once again. And you'll notice that we have the Tenkin and the 10 SMA swinging in right above us at around 23.1K. All right, what I'm going to do, guys, okay, I'm going to mark that out with an entire sort of zone right there. Okay, this is the zone. I'm going to color this a yellow, or yeah, maybe a green. Actually, let's make that a green. All right, if we start clearing that level at around $23,128, take out the 10, take out the Tenkin, I'm saying further up we go. And I think it's very, very fitting that Bitcoin is currently scrunched up within this range, okay? Especially getting into, well, the next 3-4 days. Because what we need to understand is that we're heading into, well, number one, end of the month, okay? EOM. Plus, we have the FOMC meeting that happens on Feb 1st. Now, the outcome of this meeting is going to dictate if Bitcoin dumps from here further, or do we start swinging to the upside. If J. Powell comes in and says that he is going to be increasing interest rates greater than what the market has been pricing in, which is 25 basis points. So say in 2 days from now, he comes out and says, oh no, we're doing 50 basis points. I will be expecting Bitcoin to break down. That's when I will perhaps look for the 21 EMA to be broken, and then we could actually expect that retest of 20.8K. However, if he comes out and says that, okay, you know what, the market is pricing in 25 basis points and we're going to stick to 25 basis points, if he says 25 basis points is the answer, then we could see this level hold and perhaps trend continuation getting into, well, the month of Feb. Okay, so really depend. These are all very, very important events. What we need to understand is this is price action leading into a major event. So we have the end of month candle, we have the FOMC meeting, plus we have employment data coming out on 2nd and 3rd of Feb. Okay, now even what comes out over here is likely going to sway market. So we have employment data. Alrighty. Yeah, as far as the TA is concerned, look for that $23,100 region to be taken out for further upside, and for further downside, look for this region right here at around $22,360 to be taken out. Okay, these are your key levels. If the targets to the upside, guys, remains the same, it is the exact same targets, nothing has changed in that regard. What we're looking at is this right here, 25,000 first target and then 25.5K next target. It's going to be like a zone that we're gunning for. What is that range? That is a good 11% to the upside. As far as the downside is concerned, from the red box territory to our target to the downside, lowest threshold is at 9%. Now, usually I'm a lot more decisive about the next move in the market. However, because we're heading into a major event, I have to err to the side of prudence, okay? So that's why I'm setting in conditions for you guys as to when to expect what. For those of you looking to position on the long side, make sure you're catching your bids on support. I cannot stress this enough. Trust me, it becomes way easier to manage. Okay, so now 21 EMA would be a great region of support. The dynamic test would be a great region of support, just how as it was on the 4-hour time frame, right? If I just go ahead, switch on the dynamic, switch off everything else, we lost the dynamic, you got a nice clean test of the dynamic, and then melt down to the downside. Okay. Once again, you caught the bit of the dynamic right here, rally to the upside, and then suddenly managing these trades, these pullbacks right here was not very difficult. So always try, and if you're positioning to the upside, catch your bid on support. If you're positioning to the downside, if you're looking to take your shorts, catch your bids on resistance. All right, I cannot stress this enough. Trust me, you're going to be saving yourself a lot of stress. Alrighty, so this wraps up today's Bitcoin analysis. Now with this, we can head on over to the altcoin of the day. Alrighty, so for today's altcoin of the day, we are going to be talking about DOGE USDT. Now, I was deciding between DOGE and LTC. However, I picked DOGE because of the structure that, Sean brought up to my attention. Okay, now Sean did bring up Dogecoin to my attention today. Now, Sean and I, we're two different traders in a way. He's got his style, I got my style, and we maintain two separate lists of altcoins that we look at. And I really urge you guys to maintain a list of altcoins that you look at and altcoins that you have done well playing in the past, altcoins that you have identified signatures on, because let me tell you something, out of the thousands and thousands and thousands of altcoins out there, it's going to be very easy to get lost in analysis paralysis. Your analysis might be excellent on all of these charts. But if you do not take that analysis and execute on it, nothing really comes out of it, right? And it's very easy to fall into that trap if you just go analyzing all of these charts and get stuck in analysis paralysis and never end up taking the trade. So I always urge you guys to maintain a list of altcoins that you are looking at. That way it's easy to go and execute on them when the time comes. Okay, you're not getting lost in all of the other charts. So now I have my charts. Now I just added Dogecoin to my list, okay, because I do believe that this is looking good. And what I particularly like about this chart is the volatility on here, right? When it does step into a new zone of price action, the volatility can really kick in. Now, what I've gone ahead and done is that on the weekly time frame for Dogecoin, I've gone ahead and put in the critical regions of support and resistance. Man, I'm losing my words. Support and resistance. So now you can see that we have critical support at 8 cents, okay, with critical resistance coming in at 15 cents. That is the range, with the midpoint, guys, coming in at around 11 cents. Now, the immediate trade that I have identified on this chart is from that 8 cent region to 11 cents. Technically, now we've sort of skipped the 8 cent region as we have rallied right off of that, but it's from where we're at to this 11 cent region. Now, this trade alone still is going to be a good 21% to the upside, and this is what I'm talking about in terms of volatility. Now, what I'm seeing in this chart and why I really like this chart is that there is a beautiful structure. So right off the bat, guys, the weekly candles for the past 4 weeks, we have been closing over 8 cents, telling us that, hey, Dogecoin is showing us strength along that critical macro support at 8 cents, right? And not just that, guys, we are putting in a series of higher lows. Now, after seeing this, I got on over to the dashboard. I'm like, all right, what I want to see here is this trend right here be long. And also I'm on the daily time frame. Sorry, I just need to do something very quickly. 4 hour, I'm going to go ahead and put in an alert for Doge. Oh, we just got the long signal. Okay. So I actually first checked Doge on the dashboard. I wanted to see what the 4 hour was telling me because of the 4 hour, because of what Bitcoin did recently, right? Bitcoin took a dump to the downside. Many of these trends actually flipped short. Now, I was looking at the top 10 list to select the coin that I was going to dissect today. And that's when Sean came in. She said, Krisha, check out Doge. And I also noticed Doge was on the chart, on the dashboard list, top 10. I'm like, oh, Doge was neutral. So while everything else was short, Doge was neutral and LTC was neutral. All right, and that's why I decided, I'm like, okay, these are likely going to be the two leading indicators really, telling us that, okay, things are about to turn. And that's why I picked the two. And I said, I'm going to decide between the two, which one I was going to dissect today. But so I picked Doge. And turns out this neutral just flipped long just now. Okay, so now we're seeing this trend beginning to pick up. So first off, what I wanted to really see on the dashboard, and I really urge you guys, for those of you who are using the dashboard extensively, I know many of you are. For those of you who do not know where to find the dashboard, it is app.mangoresearch.co. There is a free 7-day trial that you can take advantage of now, okay? But Doge USDT, what I want to see is long signals across the board. I wanted this trend to scream bullish at me. Okay, now I can see that, okay, 4 hours now long. How about the 12 hour? 12 hour also long. Caught a trade on that. You're up by a good 9%. How about the daily? Daily also long. Came in 19 days ago. You're up 19%. 2-day. 2-day is long. 6 days ago, you're up 12% on that trade. How about the 4-day? Okay, you can see that long trend has not cascaded on over to the 4-day just yet. So this is still sitting at neutral. Weekly is also, yes, figured, likely sitting at neutral. Also notice trading volume is up on Dogecoin. We are rank 3 as far as trading volume is concerned. Okay. So now this is a strong picture right across the board. Now that the trend on the 4 hour time frame is also flipped long, we can now start looking for those long opportunities. So with this, we can get on over to Dogecoin. Okay. Now here's what I'm noticing right off the bat. All right. So we can see that the weekly is looking strong. Now I want to get on over to the lower time frames to see if we have any good trade opportunity. Now for those of you who are pattern traders, you guys have already spotted this likely. Okay. This was a very, very easy one to spot as far as patterns are concerned. This is a very clean, very beautiful ascending triangle formation that literally just broke out. Okay, now if I have to go ahead and take the measured move of the ascending triangle, which is this right here, and plot it on the break, where will that take Dogecoin up to? That will take us all the way up to 10 cents. All right, we can go ahead and mark that out with another line segment. I'll make that a yellow. That way we can differentiate between our targets and our levels. Alrighty, so now as far as the bid opportunity for Dogecoin is concerned, I know this is going to be a bit tricky considering that we literally just broke out. And technically, what I usually look for on the breakout of patterns is that when we break out of a pattern, I look for a retest of the pattern and then continuation. And we already have that right here, right? breakout, retest, rally. However, now the thing is that we've gotten all candle closes on our lower time frames, like the 4 hour and the 1 hour, but you see this level here at 9 cents. It's technically been holding on the daily, on the 12 hour, like this is a critical level. This is the first break of that level since 13th of Jan. Okay, so we've been trying to take it out. However, now note that this is not a confirmed close. So we could still get a potential pullback deeper in. So I'll be technically gunning for this entire range right here. Okay, so from this wick high all the way down to the neckline right there. Preferably, I will try and gun for the neckline. Now, I don't have a trade just yet on Dogecoin, but I'll try and gun for the neckline. If I get the neckline, then all well and good. Okay, so this will be the bid zone for me, this right here. However, that being said, if you're in a position where you are breakout buying because you missed your level, then one way to sort of risk manage, all right, is to reduce position size. All right, so that's one very, very quick little tip. Now, for those of you in the Mango Seed program, you have an entire system built so that you might account for such circumstances. Right, so make sure you're using it during these junctures if you find yourself trading the breakouts. Okay, but now as far as this trade is concerned, look for the bid opportunity on this red zone. Now, what's really going to confirm this breakout on Dogecoin is going to be the next 12-hour close. Okay, because notice what's happened here. If we get a close above this region, I'm saying that Dogecoin now gets into that next sort of range of price action, which takes us from 9 cents all the way up to 11 cents. Now, what is that trade to the upside? Well, from 9 cents all the way up to 11, that's going to be a good 24% to the upside. But at the minimum, we're looking at the target of the ascending triangle-like formation, which is still a good 14% to the upside. As far as this entire trend faking is out and breaking down once again is concerned, just look for one thing. Just look for the 12-hour dynamic to be lost. So we're looking for consecutive closes underneath the 12-hour dynamic. Preferably, I'll look for this wick to be lost right here. Okay, the wick low, guys, comes in at around 0.0845 cents. Okay, we start losing that to the downside. That's when we can expect further downside from Dogecoin, likely getting back down to 7 cents right here. Okay, at the minimum. But yeah, this is all I have for you for Dogecoin. This is the opportunity. Of course, wait on the close, wait on that better bid. And also, I'm going to be linking my video I did on FTM because I do believe the FTM bullish trigger has gone off. Now, I do have an open long position on FTM based on the analysis that I spoke of, and I will be managing that position based on the invalidation I also spoke of in the video. So go ahead and give that one a watch because I think the trade opportunity on FTM might actually be a beautiful one. So yeah, this wraps up today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. With this, trade safely, trade stress-free, trade the mango way, trade the easy way. Ciao, you guys.